Hey guys, it's me and Roller, and we have a really cool video for you this week talking about my favorite legend, the infamous Hatman. Da-da-da-da. Who is Hatman? Where did he come from? Where did he go? Where did he come from? Cotton Eye Joe. I had my very own experience with Hatman when I was about 13 years old and living with my parents, obviously. I was just awake in the middle of the night. I don't remember if I went to sleep or if I woke up because I was just awake. I remember looking at the foot of my bed and thinking that it feels like somebody is watching me. So when I looked, there was somebody watching me. And this guy was a total creeper. He had on a top hat. He was like dark as pitch, like shadow, just everything was a shadow. And then I noticed that his eyes were like glowing red. Top hat, eyes glowing red, completely a silhouette, looks like he's got a trench coat on. This guy is terrifying. I still get like creeped out when I think about it today. So Hatman just stared at me. We just kind of like had the eye contact. It was terrifying. I don't think I've ever seen anything so scary in my life that I can't explain, and that I don't know if I was like asleep or awake, because I remember like after it was all over, I was just like staring up at the ceiling and I'm like, I don't remember going to sleep and I don't remember waking up. It just felt like I had been awake the whole time. So what was it? I don't know. Have you had an experience with Hatman? Because a lot of my viewers have, and so that's why we're talking about it today, because the people have spoken. And I'm going to share some of their stories with you guys and some of the legend and lore behind Hatman, down to the whole conspiracy of if you drink Benadryl, you'll have a Hatman experience. I'm not that kind of guinea pig. I do not want to hop myself up on Benadryl, but if you want to do it, I'm not telling you to. It's probably not a good idea. Just don't do it. Don't OD on Benadryl, please. This is disclaimer, please don't. But supposedly, if you happen to consume Benadryl, you may or may not see the famous Hatman, and nobody knows why. Maybe Benadryl taps you in with the DMT or the pineal gland or all of that. Who knows? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. So it's said that as you come out of REM sleep and you start to wake up, you have kind of like a glitch in your brain, because when you're in REM sleep, your body is not meant to move around a lot, so that you feel paralyzed and you don't act out what you're dreaming and fall out of bed or whatever. So I guess in essence, you bring the dream to your waking state, and therefore you have Hatman or whatever other like sleep paralysis type creature that's there. I don't know if I believe that. I've had like people that had experiences with sleep paralysis. I always like lean towards things being naturally supernatural. So my personal opinion is that maybe it could be more, and maybe we just want to put a logical answer on everything. I don't know. There's so many different cultures that have their own brand of sleep paralysis, or the old hag, or Hatman, or all those weird things that come at night when you're just trying to get your beauty sleep. So, but the thing that sets Hatman apart is obviously his hat. You guessed it. You guessed it. I know you did. His hat. So to me, that makes him extra creepy. Like, I think like Undertaker vibes, or some kind of like, I don't know. It's creepy to me. I don't know why he has a hat. Why does he have to have a hat? Do hats make you creepy? I don't know. I don't think they make you creepy, you know, because I like to wear hats. Other people like to wear hats. So one of my Facebook friends reached out to me to share their story with me. And honestly, This is probably one of the scariest Hatman stories I've ever read. I'm going to read it to you guys, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so several years ago, my wife and I were in a bad place, arguing constantly if we spoke at all. I was sleeping on our couch during one of those arguments. I wake up to the smell of old, dirty clothing mixed with dirt. Best description I can give. Maybe a smidge of cigar/cigarette smoke. My eyes are wide open. The hall light is on. I can't move, like at all. My breathing is shallow, and it becomes more difficult. I start to freak out. That makes the breathing thing even worse. I'm facing the back of the couch, but I see this figure exactly like the one you posted out of the corner of my eye. I feel a weight behind me on the couch. In my left ear, I hear someone take a huge breath through his or its nose, almost unnaturally loud. I felt the air move across my ear. By this time, I'm in a cold sweat and losing it. I put everything I have into attempting to scream. It comes out as a pathetic moan. I do this a couple of times, and finally I hear my wife asking what the hell is going on in there. An instant later, the weight lifts itself from the couch, and there's a very clear stomping noise walking away from me towards my kids' room. My wife, already in a bad mood, yells out for me to quit, quote, stomping around in there, unquote. I can suddenly move normally, and I scream to my wife that it ain't me. So the kids are sleeping on the floor in our room a little later that night. I go to my son's room to sleep, not expecting to at all. I fall asleep. Sometime later, I open my eyes, and he's just standing there at the foot of the bed. The room is very close to pitch dark. So is the hat dude. But somehow he has a faint light on him, and I can see him plain as day. I can move this time, so I sat up and I said, "Get the F out of here," or something similar. I still smell that scent from earlier at this time, by the way. After I told it to leave, I don't really know how to describe what happened. He was no longer at the foot of the bed, and I wasn't sitting up. No clue if I moved myself or not. Suddenly, I'm on my side, and he's behind me, standing in front of the door. His height was all the way to the ceiling. I laid there for a few minutes, seconds, no clue. Anyway, I didn't see him leave, but he was just no longer present somehow. The eeriness leaves me, as well as any kind of anxiety. The next thing I know, I'm waking up for work, and my wife and I still talk about it to this day.
Hi, my name is Amber Schultz. I'm with Fundy Freed, and the amazing Paranormal Candy asked me to come on and tell you about my story of the Shadow Man. Now, this is probably one of the more bizarre paranormal experiences I've had. So, a little bit of the background. I grew up in a really religious background, came from a cult environment. Spirituality was very heavily dictated by the Bible. People couldn't see spirits. They're all demons. Like, there's no room for unexplained paranormal activities. So, whenever I was younger, I would get these feelings, or I would feel the energy shifts in a room. Certain houses would definitely be haunted, and I would know, but I never really could explain to my parents what was going on, because I didn't really understand the gift myself until I got much older. So whenever I was probably in my mid-20s, I was in my mid to late 20s, and I had just moved to Montana with my husband and my kids, and we moved into this house. We rented it sight unseen and moved in. And I noticed one day when I was cleaning, I was sweeping, I was mopping, doing this thing, and like the light caught the door frames a certain way, and I saw what looked like the sign of a cross in oil over the door frame, and I went and I checked. All the door frames had that on it. It's like, that's really weird. It's almost like the house was blessed, and I just, it was just different. So I didn't think anything of it. So part of what I have, or what I experience, is I experience dreams in premonition form, but they're not very clear. They show a lot of symbolism, a lot of signs that usually after the event happens, I kind of figure out, oh, well, that makes sense. But I started having a series of dreams that were identical, where like this evil presence, like this demonic spirit, was literally like floating over my bed and then moving from that into my kids' room, floating over that, and moving through the house. And I had this feeling in the dream every single time that it was trying to come in, wanting to be welcomed in to the house. And I would wake up, I'd be like, no, it's not happening, go away. Really freaked me out. So this dream was like reoccurring for at least a few weeks. And so one night I'd already put the kids to bed. It was dark outside. We had this massive picture window in the living room. And so I went to close the curtains, but instead of closing the curtains first, I went and turned the lamps off. And as I turned and I looked, there was an outline of this man with a hat standing outside of my window looking in. But it wasn't an actual human. His eyes had like this odd red glow to it. And it was almost like he was waiting for me to invite him in. And it all came together in that moment that this apparition or the spirit or whatever it is, it wanted inside to get at my family or wanted inside to do something malicious because it was tied with the dreams. And so I looked and I was like, you're not coming in, you are not welcome here, go away. And I closed the curtains really fast and I opened them back up and it was gone. And after that, the dream stopped.
Okay, so that about wraps my video up. It seems that so many have had experiences with Hatman, down to a notable football player having an experience. What is he? I don't know. Is he a shadow man? Is he a demon? Is he a figment of your imagination? Is he just a byproduct of taking one too many Benadryl? Is it sleep paralysis? If you've had an experience with Hatman, post it in the comments below. And thank you guys for watching my channel. Be sure to subscribe and like and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss one of my videos. All right, it's time for me to get some shut-eye. So you guys have a great night and I'll see you next time.